Have you ever felt stuck in your life where you feel like you're not the person you've imagined yourself to be, but you're not sure how to make changes in order to make that dream version of yourself into a reality? Well, what if I told you that the key to unlocking this mental prison is one simple shift in perspective that can help decrease your anxiety, boost self-confidence, and improve perseverance towards your goals? That's right, it's becoming your alter ego. In this video, let me share with you key ideas from Todd Herman's book, The Alter Ego Effect, to explain what an alter ego is, why you need one, and how you can create your very own to transform your entire life. So grab some tea as well as a pen and paper and let's dive into it. When you hear the word alter ego, you might imagine a superhero who lives as a normal person by day and dons their superhero suit to save the world by night. Take Bruce Wayne, for example. Bruce Wayne... Batman. Take Batman, for example. Bruce Wayne's parents were murdered when he was a child, and he swears vengeance by fighting against all crime. But instead of going out as Bruce Wayne, he develops this alter ego called Batman, a superhero who time and time again saves Gotham City. In an interview with Chris Ronzio, Todd Herman describes the alter ego as a model that is within you about how you want to be showing up. And he mentions that having this clear picture of who your alter ego is and what they can do is extremely powerful for the mind, since 75% of the human brain is dedicated to the visual cortex. Research has also shown that the adoption of an alter ego is essentially practicing something called self-distancing, a mental framework in which a person is psychologically removing themselves from their experiences to decrease negative emotions and provide more constructive self-reflection. One study calls this the Batman effect, where they assigned 3 groups of children to perform a concentration test that was purposefully designed to be uninteresting. So the first group of children were told that if the task got too boring, to ask themselves the question, am I working hard? The second group of children were then told to think of themselves in the third person, such as, is Emma working hard? And the last group of children were told to think of themselves as their favorite superhero, such as, is Batman working hard? Out of the 3 groups of children that were tested, the study showed that the group that embodied an alter ego, aka their favorite superhero, spent the most time on the task, revealing that the Batman effect has the potential to increase perseverance and concentration. If you want to transform yourself into that dream version that you've always wanted to be, an alter ego could just be the key to doing that. So let me share with you how you can create your very own. The first step to creating your alter ego is understanding when you need your alter ego to show up. Think about situations where you find yourself struggling to feel confident or capable in your abilities. For example, an athlete might want an alter ego to appear when they're in a really high stakes competition like the Olympics. Even though the athlete knows that they've had years of training and the skills to perform well, the emotions and anticipation to getting a gold medal could cause them to make unwanted mistakes when it's actually game time. So write a list where you could use an alter ego, and for now, just circle the one that you want to prioritize most immediately. We'll touch on the other situations later in this video. Step 2, based on when you need your alter ego to appear, figure out what characteristics your alter ego would need to possess. For the athlete example, the alter ego would likely need to be cool, calm, and collected under pressure, while also ambitious, quick thinking, and analytical. This method of humanizing something inanimate is practiced very often in business, where most or if not all companies exercise this when developing a brand identity. Take Starbucks, for example. Imagine if Starbucks was a person. You might describe it as warm, comforting, and welcoming, since those are the human characteristics that the company wants people to see Starbucks as. This is essentially how you should approach your alter ego. Create characteristics for it that you want others to perceive it to have, no matter how far-fetched you think these qualities are to your current self. The point of an alter ego is to create an extraordinary identity that embodies all of the traits that you feel like you're lacking in your normal everyday self for those specific circumstances. Step 3, ask yourself who inspires the qualities that you want your alter ego to possess. It can be people, animals, or even characters from books and movies. If we continue with the athlete example, a good anime character that embodies ambition would be Luffy from One Piece. Luffy is this kid that's been told countless times that he will never find the One Piece treasure. But even though he started with absolutely nothing, you watch him slowly gather a crew, find a ship, and still pursue his dreams because of his ambition to achieve it. Kobe Bryant is a popular example of an athlete who took inspiration from an animal, the black mamba. And this alter ego helped separate who he was in his personal life compared to who he needed to be in his profession. Understanding who or what inspires the qualities that you want your alter ego to possess will solidify it further in your mind and make it feel much more tangible. And step 4, once you know the situations, characteristics, and inspirations for your alter ego, start visualizing what that looks like and make a name for it. You've probably heard of some celebrities doing this, the most popular example being Beyonce, where she turns herself into her alter ego Sasha Fierce whenever she performs on stage. Another example would be K-pop idols when they come up with their stage names. While most stage names are created in order to differentiate K-pop idols from their real names, I think some idols actually take this as an opportunity to embody an alter ego that they want their fans to see them as. For example, if I say Chung Ho-seok, and you're not an ARMY, you probably have no idea who this is. But if I say instead J-Hope, you're more likely to have heard this at one point in pop culture. And this is because Chung Ho-seok, or J-Hope from BTS, wanted to embody hope to his fans and reference this from the Pandora's box mythology, where once all evils were released into the world, he wanted to be like that one thing that the world still had, which was hope. You'll also notice that this mentality of stepping into a different identity is practiced a lot more commonly than you think in the everyday world. When you're playing a video game, you're being invited to live in this virtual world as a character outside of yourself. In religions like Christianity, there's a common question asked, which is, what would Jesus do? And this is practicing self-distancing, where a Christian would act upon a situation as if they were thinking and behaving like Jesus. Even physical objects can help trigger alter egos. Bruce Wayne always wears his iconic bat mask to become Batman. Miley Cyrus puts on a blonde wig to become Hannah Montana. Is that too old now? It can be as simple as wearing a pair of glasses or even a pair of shoes. If you feel like you need to wear or do something to trigger that alter ego, take a mental note and make it a habit when you intentionally bring that alter ego out into practice. After creating your alter ego, you will immediately notice the difference from when you previously did things in the first person compared to when you perform it as your alternative persona. Your emotions won't affect you as strongly when you see situations in the alter ego lens, since the psychological effect of having that mental boundary between your ordinary self versus the extraordinary version you created will ultimately increase self-control, confidence, and trust within yourself. And you can have more than one alter ego depending on the situations in which you need certain alter egos for. For example, you might need an alter ego when you're in a sports competition to help you separate your personal self, who is usually super carefree and empathetic, from your sports self, which is super competitive and unforgiving when in the game. But that alter ego for your sports competitions might not suit situations in which you need a different persona, such as when you're presenting a pitch for work. Developing multiple alter egos for the relevant situations at hand is another way in which you can regulate your emotions and approach challenges much more optimistically. And if there's one thing I want you to take away from this video, it is that this alter ego you just created is not a fake persona that you're just pretending to be. It's the real you. What you thought as your ordinary self is the trapped version of you that's been stuck in its place for so many years. But you unlocked your authentic self through the alter ego effect. This person that's been talking to you throughout this video is actually the alter ego for myself. On YouTube, you might see me as just another random content creator, but in my real life, nobody knows this alter ego I created named Jinri. Jinri, or more accurately pronounced as Jilli, is my Korean name, and I used to hate my name growing up because of how hard it was to pronounce, and my cousins would call me Chili as a joke. But as I've gotten older, I've come to embrace this part of me because Jinri actually has a really special meaning to it, which is absolute truth. For me, this alter ego is an identity that helps me discover the absolute truth about myself. I become Jinri when I want to be a confident, articulate YouTuber who is unafraid to explore ideas and share her thoughts out into the world. And you'll notice from my subscriber count and videos that Jinri was just recently born, and I'm still very much learning how to master my own alter ego. So while I don't have any personal evidence quite yet of how my alter ego will transform my life, feel free to join my journey to see how things will manifest. I hope this video was helpful, and feel free to comment your thoughts on the alter ego effect. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.